In December 2009, Scarlett Johansson gave an interview to Time Out New York. She said it plainly, "We have no time for dates. We work and then go home and anyway, just stare at the wall for a few hours before I go to sleep." That is not a woman describing a busy marriage. That is a woman describing a prison. But here is what nobody has talked about. That interview was given a full year before the divorce announcement. A full year before anyone suspected the marriage was ending. She was already telling us the truth. We just were not listening yet, because the real reason Scarlett Johansson left Ryan Reynolds is not what he did to her. It is what she did not yet know about herself. And that, for a woman who has spent her entire life knowing exactly who she is on camera, might be the most honest thing she has ever admitted. Scarlett Johansson was 22 years old when she started dating Ryan Reynolds in April 2007. But she was not a 22-year-old figuring out her career. She was a 22-year-old who had already been nominated for 4 Golden Globes. 4. She had worked with Sofia Coppola on Lost in Translation when she was 18, won a BAFTA for Best Actress, been nominated for 2 Golden Globes in the same year for Girl with a Pearl Earring and a Love Song for Bobby Long, worked with Woody Allen on Match Point, Christopher Nolan on The Prestige. By the time she met Ryan Reynolds, Scarlett Johansson was not an actress trying to make it. She was a prestige, serious drama actress who had spent half her life working with auteurs. And in 2006, the year before they started dating, Esquire named her sexiest woman alive. So she had critical credibility and cultural currency. She was the rare actress who could do both. Ryan Reynolds at that time was known for comedy. Van Wilder, Just Friends. Blade Trinity, which had been critically panned. He was charming, he was funny, but he was not winning awards. He was not on anyone's prestige radar. She was the one with the career heat. She was the one directors wanted. She already knew what it felt like to carry a relationship. She had just ended things with Josh Hartnett because being apart was too hard. She knew what distance cost, and maybe that should have told her something about what would happen when their trajectories shifted. They started dating in April 2007. The specifics of how they met have never been publicly confirmed. What is known is that it was private from the start, famously private. Scarlett had just ended things with Josh Hartnett, citing the strain of being apart. Ryan had ended his 3-year engagement to Alanis Morissette just 2 months earlier in February. By May 2008, they were engaged. "They are both thrilled," his rep said, and maybe they were. Maybe at 23 and 31, love felt like enough. They got married on September 28, 2008, at Clayoquot Wilderness Resort on Vancouver Island, British Columbia. The resort is accessible only by a 30-minute boat ride from Tofino. No road access, no paparazzi. The location and the bears kept the media out, one source joked later. It was Ryan's home province. Scarlett's mother, Melanie, and her brother, Adrian, were there. It was small, it was remote, it was theirs. She was 23, he was 31. A 9-year gap, and for a while, it worked. The marriage became known as the stealth marriage. They did not do red carpets together. They did not give joint interviews. They protected what they had built with a kind of discipline that seemed from the outside like strength. But while they were protecting their privacy, their careers were pulling them in opposite directions. In 2009, Scarlett filmed Iron Man 2. In 2010, she starred on Broadway in A View from the Bridge and won a Tony Award. She was in New York, performing 8 shows a week, staring at audiences instead of cameras. Ryan, meanwhile, was in New Orleans from March to August 2010, filming Green Lantern. Different city, different schedule, different life. They were married, but they were not living like married people. They were living like 2 professionals who happened to share a mortgage. She knew it during the Tony Award run. 8 shows a week, and on most nights, she would come home to an empty apartment. She knew it when friends would ask how Ryan was doing, and she would realize she had not talked to him in 3 days. She knew it when the breakup rumors started circulating in March 2010, and her denial felt hollow even to herself. And at some point, the distance stopped being logistical and started being emotional. But denying something does not make it untrue. It just means you are not ready to say it out loud yet. The shift was not dramatic. It was not an affair. It was not a fight. It was 2 people who stopped being able to find each other in the same room. The crack was not one event. It was the slow realization that the life they had built required them to be apart more than together, and neither of them had signed up for that. Scarlett was 23 when she got married. She did not know yet what she needed from a partner because she had not spent enough time alone to figure out what she needed from herself. And Ryan, at 32, was at a different stage. He had been engaged before. He knew what marriage was supposed to look like, but knowing what it looks like and being able to sustain it are two different things. By late 2010, the marriage was not broken, it had just faded, like a photograph left in the sun too long. In December 2010, they announced their separation and filed for divorce on the same day. It was coordinated, it was mutual, there was no scandal, no betrayal, no custody battle, because there were no children. No money fight, because neither of them requested spousal support despite having no prenup. They entered our relationship with love, and it is with love and kindness we leave it. While privacy is not expected, it is certainly appreciated. That statement was not spin, it was the truth. They had loved each other. They were leaving with kindness, and they wanted to be left alone. The divorce was finalized in July 2011. 6.5 months. Clean, quiet, unremarkable in every way except for the fact that it was two famous people ending a marriage without burning it to the ground. And that, in Hollywood, is rare. The legal mechanics were straightforward. Ryan was the petitioner. Scarlett responded the same day. Irreconcilable differences. California community property, split 50-50. No prenup, no alimony, no kids. In 2011, Ryan gave an interview to Details magazine. There was no story and no scandal, so the narrative was just created for me. That was the most disturbing part. He also said, "The media was not invited to my marriage, and they are definitely not invited into the divorce." He was protective, not of himself, of what they had been. And then he said this, "Anyone who gets divorced goes through a lot of pain, but you come out of it. I am not out of it yet, at all. But I sense that as I do come through it, there is optimism. That is not a man who cheated. That is a man who is grieving." Scarlett spoke about it too, not immediately, but eventually. In an interview with Cosmopolitan UK around 2011, she said, "Relationships are complicated, and being married is a living, breathing process. I think I was not fully aware of the peaks and valleys. I was not prepared to hunker down and do the work. Both of us were extremely busy. We spent so much time apart. It is very difficult. That admission is everything. I was not prepared to hunker down and do the work." She is not blaming him. She is naming what she did not know about herself at 23. That marriage takes more than love. It takes presence. It takes time. It takes the willingness to stay when the work gets hard. And she was not ready for that yet. Maybe he was not either. 2019, she told Vanity Fair, "The first time I got married, I was 23 years old. I did not really have an understanding of marriage. Maybe I kind of romanticized it, I think, in a way." And in 2023, on the Goop podcast, she said it even more clearly. "I did not always know what I wanted or needed from somebody else. There are certain fundamental things in your own personality that you need to share with the other person." Notice the tense. Not did not know then. Did not always know. She is still figuring it out. That is not failure. That is honesty. She also said this about Ryan. He is a good guy. Not he was a good guy. He is. Present tense. Because whatever ended between them, it was not his character. It was their timing. After the divorce, both of them rebuilt. But they rebuilt differently. Ryan moved first. He met Blake Lively on the set of Green Lantern in 2010, while he was still married to Scarlett. But they did not start dating until late 2011, after the separation. That timeline matters. There was no overlap, no affair, just two people who met during one chapter and started another chapter later. He married Blake in September 2012. Just 2 years after the separation, they have 4 children. And then Deadpool happened in 2016, and it reset his career. Deadpool and Wolverine in 2024 grossed over $1.3 billion. He sold Aviation Gin for an estimated $610 million. He sold Mint Mobile for $1.35 billion. He co-owns Wrexham AFC. His net worth is now estimated at $350 million. He expanded beyond acting. He became a businessman, a brand, a father of 4. Scarlett took longer to remarry, but she went deeper. By 2014, she had married again. French journalist Roman Doriac. They had a daughter, Rose. That marriage ended in 2017. And then in 2020, she married Colin Jost. They have a son, Cosmo, born in 2021. 2 more marriages, 2 more chances to figure out what she needed. Bork. She became Black Widow. She starred in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the 4 Avengers films she appeared in grossed nearly $8 billion worldwide. She became one of the highest-grossing actors in film history. She was nominated for 2 Oscars in the same year in 2020 for Marriage Story and Jojo Rabbit. She starred in Jurassic World Rebirth, which grossed over $869 million. Her net worth is now estimated at $165 million. She went deeper into the craft. She took risks. She fought Disney on principle over Black Widow, and won. She became more fully herself. Ryan remarried quickly, but he was still processing. In 2011, he told Details magazine, "I am not out of it yet, at all." That was a year before his wedding to Blake. Scarlett took longer to remarry, but her interviews showed she had done the harder work. She named what she did not know at 23. She admitted she romanticized marriage. She took responsibility for not being ready to hunker down and do the work. 2 people who married young, who split kindly, who each became more fully themselves apart than they ever were together. Ryan moved on faster, but Scarlett understood it deeper. The real reason Scarlett Johansson left Ryan Reynolds is the reason countless young marriages end. Not because of betrayal, not because of cruelty, but because at 23, she did not know what she needed yet. And by the time she figured it out, the life she had built with him no longer fit. She romanticized marriage. She thought love would be enough, and when it was not, she had 2 choices: stay and pretend, or leave and grow. She chose growth, and so did he. That is the devastating truth. Not that someone cheated, not that someone lied, but that 2 good people can love each other and still not be right for each other. And the bravest thing they can do is admit it and let each other go with kindness. Scarlett figured out what she needed: someone who shares her fundamental personality, someone who understands the peaks and valleys, someone who is willing to hunker down and do the work when it gets hard. And Ryan figured out what he needed too: a partner who wanted the same life he did, a family, stability, someone who would build something with him that was not just a career. Neither of them was wrong. They were just young. And sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone you love is admit that loving them is not the same as being able to build a life with them. What do you think? Was leaving at 25 the bravest thing Scarlett Johansson ever did? Drop your take in the comments. If this story hit you, smash that subscribe button. We have got another one coming that you are not going to want to miss. Scarlett Johansson was 23 when she said yes to a marriage she did not yet understand. She was 25 when she had the courage to say no to a life that no longer fit. And for a woman who has spent her entire life knowing exactly who she is on camera, admitting she did not know who she was off camera might be the most honest thing she has ever said.